After canceling $15 billion worth of EVs, Honda is finally making a very positive choice here and building another facility here in the United States to increase production. We're going to break that down today, but stay to the end because we're going to talk about Toyota testing a new Land Cruiser. And lastly, we're going to talk about this new Pathfinder from Nissan and how this could actually make its way to America from China. Guys, if you're new to the channel, my name's Kirk. I cover automotive news every single day. Not only am I covering today's news, but I will update you tomorrow on tomorrow's news. I also have so much content coming on this RAV4 plug-in hybrid GR Sport. I have content coming on minivans. I have content coming on the Telluride hybrid, all within the next few days. So make sure you're subscribed. I also am going next month in August to two different media drives, one being a Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid and the other one being a Nissan. Okay, so stay tuned for that stuff coming up, and it'll just accelerate this fall and late summer with potentially new reveals from many manufacturers. All right, so what the heck is going on with Honda? If you're excited for Honda, first of all, hit that like button. Honda had their CEO, Mibe on, who kept his job. They didn't shove him out after posting a first annual loss in the company's history since being listed on the stock market. So it's been like 70 years since the late 60s or something. Mibe brought the company to a new low. However, he's retained his job. This is crucial for him. In order for him to bounce back, he needs to sell more cars. Pretty simple, okay? You can't sell more cars unless you can make more cars. Also logical. And with tariffs, he's considering building another facility here in the United States to get around tariffs and also to sell more cars. He sat down with an interview at Yomiuri Shimbun, which is a newspaper over in, of course, Japan. There are 7 existing plants in North America, and there's an annual capacity of about 1.8 million units. They're at about 90% of that capacity currently or more. And remember earlier this year, Honda threw in the towel on all their 0 Series EVs, and Mibe went on to say about their EVs is that the era of EVs in the US will not arrive for another 5 years. So that's 2031. Now, a lot can happen in the next 5 years. Anything could happen. Okay, so he's saying the earliest that EVs will be getting more traction is in 5 years. We need a lot of stuff in the US to happen if EVs are going to be more widely accepted. Okay, first of all, better infrastructure. We can't charge publicly nearly as conveniently as anywhere else in the world that has EVs. Should I say mainly Europe and China? They have much better infrastructure over there. In the US, it's going to take a massive effort to come up with a charging network because the United States is so big and so segmented. In China, it's fairly easy. Even though it's a massive country, they have unified government, for better, for worse, right? And so the government's saying, hey, let's just put all these chargers in. As well as, they also have a bunch of chargers from the individual companies, which are funded by the government there. So it's all private sector instead of public sector charging. That's the first thing that needs to happen in order for EVs to really take off. You also need to have better battery technology that can handle the extreme weather conditions here in the US. You also have more affordable batteries. You also have to have more locally sourced components so you're not dependent on China for the batteries. So really, the EVs in the US are at least 5 years away from growing massively. In the meantime, they're going to stay well under, I would say, 10% with the lack of EV tax credit and other incentives. That's just my guess. I could be completely wrong. And Mibe now thinks that's also the case, even though they went all in. They went all in on EVs, expecting all their cars to be replaced by an EV by the next 5 years. And they pulled the plug on that. So a lot of their cars are behind schedule, minimum 3 to 4 to 5 years for a new redesign. It's not good for Honda. Okay, they need a new plant. Now, what would they build at this new plant? This isn't even mentioned in this article. Well, let's see. Now, these aren't the best renders, but when I rendered the Honda Element a few weeks ago after strong sources said that the Element was making a comeback, I made some renders, but it's not gonna have a sliding door. That'd be sick. I would take a sliding door over this funky little door here. But it had a B pillarless design, the Honda Element. Okay, so you could just like fly through the side of the vehicle. Could it become a minivan sort of sliding door thing? Anything's possible. Okay, unlikely. Honda is so conservative nowadays. Not like nothing is going to be exciting about the Element unless I'm proven wrong. There's not going to be a tailgate. There's not going to be a B pillarless design. It's not going to have a rubber floor mat sort of interior where you can remove the rear seats. Okay, I'm not expecting like any sort of cool stuff from it, even though I want it. And it is going to be hybrid only, but Honda needs to build this thing somewhere. And if they don't have a plan, I mean, they don't have capacity to build this. That's the thing. I would say, like, well, if they're at 90% capacity right now, how are they going to add an Element into the scenario? Well, they would have to build a new plant or bring it in from Japan, but that's tariffs. They're not going to do that. And the Element was really a North American focused product. I want an Element. I also want a pickup truck based off the Element. This kind of reminds us of the Slate pickup truck, but it would need to have a 4-seater configuration, a 2-seater configuration, unless it was dirt cheap. It wouldn't sell well here in the US. So I could re-render this, but you guys kind of get the idea here. We want a Honda Element SUV, and I would love a small hybrid Honda Element truck as well. That's what I'm looking for. I think this design down here looks really good. I love the circular headlights. This looks proper old school. That's really fun looking. But yeah, ChatGPT really screwed up the heritage Honda badge here on the front, but it is what it is. You guys get the gist of it. They need a new plant for the Element. That's what I'm going to say they're going to build there. There was also talks about Honda bringing in HRV and CRV production from Canada and Mexico to be built in the United States at this new plant. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen. More than likely, this is the new Element plant. And where they would build it, I don't know. Trump said when tariffs happened that Honda was going to build a new plant. When I spoke to all my Honda reps, they're like, we don't know anything about a new plant. Well, now Mibe's coming out here a year later saying, oh, yeah, there's going to be a new North American plant. And I think Trump said it was going to be in Indiana, something like that. They already have a plant in Indiana, by the way. For example, we have CRVs that are built in Greensburg, Indiana, as well as a Civic hatchback hybrid. US is the key for Honda and really the Japanese automakers at this point. I mean, due to the lack of competitiveness of most of them in China. But 40% of Honda's sales are here in the United States. You have the plant down in Mexico, Celaya plant. You have the plant up in Canada. And remember, they're going to build a huge EV manufacturing hub in Canada. That is until tariffs hit, and it's pretty much canceled at this point until I hear otherwise. But they keep postponing it. It's postponed indefinitely. And they have a bunch of plants in the U.S. like we just showed. And Mibe just said in this interview that he wants to increase the number of sales in North America a lot. Okay, what is a lot? Well, I think there's enough demand for Hondas for them to produce another 500,000 units, but you need 2 plants to do that. And Honda's only considering 1 extra plant. One of you guys sent this to me over on Instagram. A Toyota team testing a new Land Cruiser. Somewhere in the Middle East would be my guess. Okay. Because it is in Arabic, so that's my theory. And it could be the Land Cruiser SE. Why? Well, let's go to the translation, okay? Camouflage test vehicle, similar in size to the Land Cruiser, was spotted alongside a message from the development team reading "The Legend Evolves." Okay, so this is probably the Land Cruiser SE that David Chow and I detailed for you here on the channel. This would have been 2023 fall, the Japan Mobility Show. Key observation featuring 20-inch wheels resembling those found on the new Toyota Century. Interesting. The front end sports a grille with small air vents and a vertical design suggesting departure from the current Land Cruiser. So let's go back. This is what I find odd about this vehicle. These are probably active shutters here on the front, but if we go back to the electric Land Cruiser here, this is just plain. It kind of looks like the Lexus TZ from the front, which is fully electric. With this sort of grille, it makes me think that it is not electric. There's too much airflow going on here. So it could very well be a plug-in hybrid, which Toyota's probably having to pivot at this point due to lack of demand in many, many countries, okay, for full EVs. The Post referenced the team at the Tahara plant. Well, they make the Land Cruiser at the Tahara plant as well as Lexus models. Okay, so could it be a Century model? Is this a new Toyota Century SUV? Maybe. There's speculation this could be a new unibody Land Cruiser featuring a fully battery electric or plug-in hybrid powertrain. It wouldn't be BEV due to the amount of grille space here. Could this be an evolved Century? Possibly. I mean, the wheels, right? But if we go back, camouflage test view similar in size to the Land Cruiser, and they say the Legend evolves. So the Legend is not, I mean, yes, the Century is the Century's already evolved though from a sedan to an SUV. So it's not going to be Century 99% sure. I think they're talking about this thing, the Land Cruiser SE, which is going to be a unibody Land Cruiser. And I mean, what's the point of this? What's the point of it, in my opinion, when you already have the Highlander EV coming out? You have, and this is said to be built potentially in North America. So you have the Highlander EV coming out. You have the Lexus TZ. I mean, you could have a TX plug-in hybrid coming out in the next couple of years. Like, what's the point of this vehicle? I don't know. Toyota already has too many cars. I just don't see the purpose of having this one. But I like variety. And speaking of variety, God, ads are so bad. I apologize. It is what it is. Nissan Pathfinder in China gets a crazy redesign. And I just wanted to look at some of the pictures here. It kind of looks like the front end design of the new Murano that we have in the US. The wheel arches look very Murano. You have a two-tone paint design that reminds me of a Maybach GLS, or even just an S-Class Maybach for that regard. All right, I think it's cool looking, and I think this is kind of the design Nissan needs to go. And what do I mean by that? You know, a lot of Pathfinder people would be pissed off me saying that Pathfinder should be body on frame, should be off-road focused. I agree. Nissan's confirmed that there's going to be two Pathfinders, or one is going to be unibody like you see here, and another is going to be body on frame, made in the Camp, Mississippi plant, and the Pathfinder unibody, which actually could be bigger than this. Okay, you might think that the new Pathfinder redesign could go XXL unibody, like the Telluride out here. That would make sense to me. The problem is, does Nissan have the powertrains for that? Not as of now. They don't have a 300 plus horsepower powertrain to keep up with things like the Telluride hybrid, the Palisade hybrid, or the Grand Highlander hybrid max. The easiest way to do it would be to plug in hybrid their new e-power system, and that would get them over the hump for power output. And just, you have that, and then you could also have a standard e-power. Then you could also have a V6 model with a 9-speed ZF. Okay, no VC turbos, please God. Get the VC turbo out of everything. The VC turbos in this model, keep in mind. Another image for you guys with this beautiful Chinese family. We have two massive screens here. This is different technology that we have in the US. Okay, totally different software. Keep that in mind. We have a huge volume knob here. Thank God. We also have physical climate control. Extra thank God here. And this is the world healing, guys. I just made a video yesterday ranting on Toyota's system and how they went a step too far, or a couple steps too far, in removing climate control buttons in the interior and replacing them with drive mode buttons. What the heck? Okay, we're in a RAV4. I get it, the GR Sport, it's good to have dedicated drive mode, but it's fast without using the sport mode. You don't need the sport mode. It's going to make it louder. So you have this also rotary dial, physical rotary dial for drive mode select. Go figure. Nissan has got it figured out. This might also be, this is a start stop engine button here. So this is good that Nissan's not abandoning their physical controls. You look in things like the Leaf and the Murano, they went a step too far. And it's all not all touch capacitive, but a lot of it is, and it's a bit frustrating. So this is good news that Nissan is going back, or should be keeping rotary dials for climate control physical buttons for climate control as well as volume control. So this sort of design could be coming to America in some shape or form in an updated Pathfinder. Time will tell though. And when is the new Pathfinder expected to come out? 2028, 2029. And the unibody could get redesigned after the body on frame version of the Pathfinder. But a lot of exciting stuff coming. Hopefully Honda officially confirms building a new plant. They're capped out here. You know, the Koreans have whizzed past them, if that's the right term. Between Hyundai and Kia, they produce so many more cars here in the United States and for the United States market compared to Honda. So Hyundai Motor Group has passed them. And Honda is just okay with being max capacity and not having an interest in building plants. I've said for years that Honda needs more plants here in the US. And they said, oh, we're going to build an EV manufacturing hub in Canada. I'm like, oh, that's probably not going to work out well unless they have groundbreaking, like world-beating EVs. And of course they didn't. They ended up canceling them, ended up postponing that EV production hub in Canada due to tariffs and a lack of EV demand and EV infrastructure and EV credits and all that stuff. Okay, it just was not going to work. It cost them almost $16 billion to cancel all those EVs. Think of what Honda could have done with $16 billion wasted on that EV project. We could have 2 to 3 more manufacturing facilities in the US, and which could produce pickup trucks, hybrid unibody pickup trucks to fight things like the Maverick, the new Element. They could have more CRV, HRV production with more hybrids. They could have had more Acura production. Acura is down to a 3 model brand with just because the ZDX is gone, RDX is gone, and you just have a rebadged HRV, you have a rebadged Civic, and you have the MDX, which has no hybrid or electrified options at this point. So Acura is in a tough spot. They're selling a lot, though. They're still selling a lot, but once RDX is out of inventory, it's going to be pretty bleak for a while, for the next couple of years, I think. All right, so I'm going to shut it down there. Let me know if you made it to the end. Let me know if you made it to the end of this video. I always appreciate that. I got so many videos to edit. Pacifica plug-in hybrid. I still have to do full-on reviews on the Telluride and the GR Sport RAV4, and I have just so much stuff. I'm so behind, guys. I was on vacation for the last week, but I'm like 3 days back in the saddle here, and I'm just like up to my eyeballs in work, which is exciting. It gives you guys stuff to look forward to. It gives me a lot of work to chew on and get it out to you. Have a wonderful day, guys. Love the ones around you, and peace.